down. So Mike's and them job is to dig real deep to let that loose. Our success that we've had over these 39 years has been with the family. The families come up. The families. What Brother Shaheed witnessed Sunday, that was families out there.
Sure was.
They were families because we know that we can get the families involved because
Yes.
that's what happened with him. That's what happened with me.
Yes.
And any other body who has a successful recovery, our families were involved. Am I right?
Well, because chemical dependency is a misunderstood disease. And one of the things that we assist the family in doing is understanding the role they played in that addict or alcoholic's life as a codependent. And there's other areas in the dysfunctional family that many of the family played. They played a mascot, the superhero,
That's right.
the lost child,
Right.
the scapegoat. So there's a lot of role playing within the family. See, chemical dependency is a family illness. It's primary,
Yes.
progressive, pathological. We have a love-trust relationship with the mood-altering chemical. It's used at the repeated expense of our values and goals, but it can best be prevented, diagnosed, and treated if you take into account the cultural context
That's right.
in which the misuse or abuse occurred.
That environment that
The
they grew
environment
up
which they came up out of.
That's right.
In our black community, we are so fragmented as far as our culture because every family has its own culture. Every zip code has its own culture. So
You know, if you go back to mental health,
Speak on it.
mental health. They say, well, we got to provide mental health. Mental health depends on a good diagnosis, and that comes from the word gnosis, which means information. How can you tell me you're going to deal with my mental illness if you don't know anything about me? You have
Yes,
absolutely not. What you're going to do is come in there, do an examination on me, come up with a mental health number, and say, take this Haldol or this other drug and go sit in the corner oval and don't bother nobody. That's what they call mental health treatment. Now, some people may object. What I've seen is, my wife, she was diagnosed with a mental illness, and they had her on 12 to 14 pills a day. And so finally she backed to back off of that because it was causing all sorts of issues.
Yeah.
But if you don't have an answer, then you medicate.
Yeah.
If you don't have an answer.
Talk to us about this, because I know sometimes people use heroin and then they give them, is it methadone? And then now you become addicted to the methadone.
Methadone, the
It's-
life
it's-
of the living dead.
It's a madness to us. Tell us about that. And is there a way to get off that methadone?
sometimes it takes years to get off
Years.
methadone.
Yeah.
Because it gets into the marrow of the bone.
Well,
Yes.
Aaron Neville's, he was on heroin and methadone. His brother Charles.
At the same time?
Yes, they was out there. They was using it with Ray Charles. When he was using it, Aaron tells a story about Ray Charles. He said he used to shoot dope out of a fruit jar cap.
Right.
So, the thing about it is that if you look at the heroin, you're addicted to two things. You're physically addicted and you're mentally addicted. So the methadone gets into the bone marrow. So when it's time to come off, you're talking about painful. I used to mainline methadone, mainline it,
What does mainline mean?
catch a vein and
Okay.
shooting it straight into the vein. But you start thinking, say, well, what does it do? Well, it allows me to get enough go hungers about myself to go rob you while you at work. Because that's all it do. I mean, it takes away that pain that you're feeling, and it has a half-life. So if you do 5 millimeters of it, you're actually putting in 7 millimeters. And so when you get ready to come off, that's got to get out of your system some kind of way. But the average addict, the seasoned heroin addict, will not mess with methadone.
Okay.
Will not mess with
It was a brother over there, which I would never say his name because when I'm there, whatever somebody says to me, it's confidential. But he shot it, when you raise your tongue up, he shot dope in his tongue.
Oh, yeah. In the
He
neck.
shot dope between his toes, and he also shot dope into his navel.
That's right.
Now, I done heard a whole lot of stuff,
Yeah.
but when he told me he pulled his testicles to the side and shoot up under there,
Yeah.
I knew he was the real deal.
Right.
Well, yeah,
And the only only group that could help, possibly had any kind of saving force was basic, because if you don't make a person understand that 85% of his problem is you don't love yourself.
That's it, right.
You don't know who you are. You don't know what you brought to the world. You know, you don't know your self-worth. If somebody can convince you you nothing, you never will be nothing. You never can be nothing.
But they put millions and millions of dollars into this thing.
Ain't no
and
secret.
People from the outside, because we use the term at the office, harvesting the poor. See, you identify there's a problem, then you send the armies in there to come in there and fix it. You know, like they did with AIDS back in the 80s.
sure did.
We worked with Washington University with effort to reduce the spread of AIDS. And then what happened was it come right back, and now when they left, 77% of all the female cases of AIDS are black women.
Yes.
They don't even talk about it.
No, they don't.
No,
It was a gay man's disease, and then it became a
Right.
problem for black women.
right. Now,
Yeah.
when you go back and realize, too, come on now.
They were not talking about
1972, Nixon declared a war on drugs, Brother Shaheed. 1970, a war on drugs. Today, as we sit here, the NAACP does not have a drug policy. As we sit here,
Ain't that something?
the Urban League does not have a drug policy. 100 Black Men does not have a. How could that be when we're in a war?
Yeah.
I want to speak about something too, real quick,
what I
before
want
we
you to
run
do
out of
too,
time.
I want to make sure he start giving this information out. But go ahead, whatever you want to do. But I want to make sure he takes his time, and I don't want him to do it quick. I want him to give
Yes, sir.
basic, all the information out. But go ahead.
Okay, so we talked about drugs. I want to talk about the other side because you all deal with alcohol.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of time, alcohol is more socially acceptable.
Right.
Oh yeah.
And I just want you to share, first of all, what's the youngest person that you've ever treated? Do you all just 18 or you treat the whole family?
Tie that into your answer. Give your information out,
Yes,
because I want to
please.
make sure you get that out, because we only got 2 minutes, and I
We
need
may
to
have to
get-
bring them back, guys.
Well,
We don't have to bring him back.
well, we have a set age group that can come in that legally we can treat without their parents' permission. But alcohol, you got to realize there are 3 times as many liquor stores in the black communities than are white.
Open up
5
before the
times
schools.
more advertisement for liquor.
They open up before schools.
That's right. 5 times more advertisement in our community than our white counterparts. 1 out of 2 homicides, alcohol or drug related. 8 out of 10 felonies where a weapon is involved is alcohol or drug related.
8 out of 10.
All these things are happening in our neighborhood as we ride down the street, not realizing you could get to the stoplight and there's a person with a look in his eye that make you lock all your doors and move your windows.
Ain't no
Because
secret.
he don't care about life. It's over with for him. As far as he's concerned, that's where I was. I was walking up and down the streets of Watts, California.
Walking zombie.
Walking
I want to
zombie.
get that information. I hear you go. Sister
Oh, I
Secretary.
was going to let him give it. Can you say it better than I can?
He know about
Yes,
heart.
sir. Yes, sir. Tell how they reach you.
Please.
Oh.
'Cause we
Phone
only got a
number,
minute left,
location.
and
We
I want
got,
you
yeah.
to get out. One of y'all get that out, because the time is running.
You can reach us at Basic is located 3654 South Grand.
That's right.
It's right south of Gravois, between Gravois and Chippewa. It's right at Winnebago. The phone number is 314-621-9009. You can also look us up on YouTube,
Right.
Facebook.
Right.
But the number again is 314-621-9009. The address is 3654 South Grand.
And we also have treatment on demand. That's critical. If you call there, as long as it's on a weekend, we'll be seen that Monday. But if you call there anytime between Monday and Friday, between 8:30 and
And 5:30.
5:30, whatever your problem is, we'll dispatch a cab to get you. We'll
That's
send
it.
transportation to get you. We got housing money. We got money for housing. We got money for housing to pay rent. What else? Am I missing something?
We got, yeah.
Well, we have a nurse on staff.
We got a
have
nurse on
community
only got
staff.
15
service.
seconds.
Well, listen,
left.
guys, we're going to tell you, call that phone number. They have a wealth of information. And we thank you for being on the Freeman Bosley
yeah.
Jr. Show and
Thank
giving
you so
all
much.
this great information to our listeners. You've been listening to the Freeman Bosley Jr. Show on KTZ 1600. Keep it on lock.
Quit playing.
Welcome back, St. Louis. Welcome back. You're listening to the Freeman Bosley Jr. Show on KTZ. Good morning, good morning, good morning. We thank you all for tuning in. Again, we're back. We've had a great segment. We've had a great show, but we still have more to come.
Oh, we had a hot
Brother-
segment.
Yes.
We had a real hot segment. We had Basic on the drug and alcohol program that's been in effect for 39 years. And these are some of the brothers that what I didn't know, because I'm going to introduce someone that I love very much and who's very close to the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. This brother here at his facility at Basic, a drug and alcohol program, is mandatory that he buys 25 final calls every week, not every other week. Every week he buys 25 final call, and it's mandatory reading for all of his clients that's strung out on drugs.
Wow.
So that's very powerful.
Yeah.
But we just had him on. But anyway, without any hesitation or reservation, I have the honors to be able to introduce my brother, and really your brother too. He's all of our brother, but he's one of the flamethrowers for the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, and I don't know nobody. And when you look at him, I'm just going to be honest, brothers and sisters, and I'm not sure, have we got this up on the site where they can see it now? I want to make sure they put that up and see how. He looks like a young Minister Farrakhan in his day. He really does. He kind of looks like a young Minister Farrakhan, but this is my brother who's coming into town tomorrow. Tomorrow, Sunday. He'll be at 5967 West Florissant, and he will be speaking. This is Brother Nuri Muhammad. Brother Minister Nuri, assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam, Brother Shaheed, and to Sister Felicia and all those that are in the studio. It is my honor and privilege to share space and time with you mighty warriors for the rise of our people.
Oh, praise is due to Allah. Well, we can't wait. We want to set the tone for you for tomorrow, for the mosque, at
Yes.
Minister Donald. And I'm going to be in the front row. Either I'm going to be on that roster, or if I ain't, I'm going to be on that front row. I bet you that. You can't keep me from you and you from me, because you with the minister.
If you're not there, I don't even want to be there, Brother Shaheed. You got to be at least an arm's length away so I can feel that magnificent, dynamic, divine energy that the Lord of the worlds has possessed you with. And I thank you so much for all you do for our people in St. Louis and around this country, fighting and sacrificing
Brother
for our rise.
We've been
your
talking
love.
about the minister and about Minister Akbar and some of the other leaders to say all praise is due to Allah. So we just thank Allah. But what I don't want to keep on doing is trying to build who you are, because hell, we'll be talking about that for the next 3 or 4 hours, and this program will be gone and won't nobody know we're gone. I want you to talk about whatever you would like to talk about. I can hit you with a few things, but you're going to be speaking Sunday. And what's the topic, Sister Felicia? She got everything right there in front of her.
Colony to community, God's plan for God's people.
I'm not sure if you want to talk about that.
That's right.
I don't know if you want to
Well,
talk. Go ahead.
Well,
I'm
we
sorry.
can, because, of course, there's a lot of words that we use in language, communicate with one another, that we try to make have the same meaning. But there's a fundamental difference between a colony and a community, just like there's a difference between a daddy and a father. A daddy is a male that knows how to plant a seed in the womb to bring birth to a child. But a father's not a daddy. A father is one that knows how to train that child, how to successfully navigate in the world that he's brought them into. There's a big difference between a fan and a follower. We got too many fans of Jesus and too many fans of Muhammad and not enough followers. A follower is one that puts their foot where the one they're following put their foot, and a fan is someone that just cheers the great one on. Too many fans and not enough followers. And unfortunately, in our neighborhoods, matter of fact, I'm just going to say it like this. We don't even call it neighborhood anymore. We just call it the hood.
The hood.
I said, why do we call it the hood? And when it's because the concept and function of neighbor is missing from the environment that we share space and time with one another in, called our community. A colony is much different than a community. A colony is whenever people that live in an environment don't own the businesses in the environment, but other people from outside of that environment own the businesses, and they set up shop as bloodsuckers and parasites, which means they're living beings that live off of another living being, sucking the energy of that being without giving any useful contribution in return. So in every neighborhood, St. Louis included, that we've traveled all over the country, you find an Italian pizza spot, a Pakistani-owned gas station
Yes.
with fried chicken, fried bread, fried fish, fried water, just fried everything. You got a Korean-owned nail spot. You have Vietnamese and Korean-owned beauty supply house, a white man-owned payday loan spot, Jewish-owned pawn shop in every neighborhood.
Yes,
But
sir.
we don't have anything that we can call our own. And what hurts is that all of these other nationalities that come into our community turn it into a colony because they suck the blood or the economic wealth from that location,
Yes, sir.
but they don't ever do anything. I never see any of those Koreans getting their hair cut at our barbershops.
No, sir.
I never see any of these payday loan spots or these nail shops sponsoring Little League baseball or football. I never see their names on the back of the jerseys. So you mean to tell me they come in our community and they suck the blood and then they take our profit and go to another community and make that neighborhood rich? That means that we live in a colony.
Yes,
A
sir.
community, though,
Yes, sir.
is when the people that live in an environment do business in that environment, barter with one another, and then they reinvest in the environment that they do business and live in and keep the property value going up. Well, we have 8 steps that we want to present tomorrow. I hope you all will come. It's a free meeting. The message tomorrow is free. We're going to be at Mos 28, 5967 West Florissant Ave at 10 a.m. Free. And I want to share with you 8 practical steps, whether you are Baptist, Methodist, Episcopalian, whether you are Muslim, Hebrew Israelite, Crip, Blood, Vice Lord, GD, whatever you are, you can apply these principles and we can turn our hoods back into a neighborhood and our colonies back into communities.
Well, I'm so happy that you said that because, and I want brothers and sisters to understand who you're talking to. He represents the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. So let me say that 2 more times. Minister Nuri Muhammad, he represents the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. 1 more time. Minister Nuri Muhammad, he represents the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. You know, I'm free, so I can say what I want to say. I don't get no trouble. And when you represent the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, you got some big shoes to fill. It ain't nowhere on this planet, for the most part, that he haven't been speaking. So when he's talking about the Asians, when he's talking about the Vietnamese, when he's talking about the Arabs, he ain't just talking about something he ain't talking. He's talking from experience. This is what he do, you know. And I'm just thankful to Allah that he comes in. And I don't care who you are. If you hear Mr. Nuri speak, you're going to be just spellbound and mesmerized. If you never heard him speak before, when he talk, he just makes so much sense. And I'm just honored to have him on our show this morning. And I'm just thankful to Allah and thankful to Allah and so thankful to Allah that Minister Donald and the staff and the brothers and sisters are bringing him here. And as he said, this is free. This is something that you really should be paying for, but Minister Farrakhan don't allow that.
Thank you, Brother
That's
Shahib.
right.
Brother Minister, you mentioned about unity and coming together and reference it. You said it doesn't matter what your religion is or what you believe in. You talked about unity. I would like for you to share with our listening audience the difference between unity and being uniform. I think that's really deep how you bring that
Oh,
perspective.
yeah. This is what he do.
Well, that is, thank you, my sister. But this has been a great impediment in our sojourn to establish a Black United Front or to build a community or a neighborhood again, or have something we can call our own. We've been talking unity, but in our mind, we've been thinking uniformity. And what they found, Sister Felicia, in the world of education, when someone is reading a book and they come across a word that they don't understand, if they don't stop and get out a dictionary and define that word, whatever they read after that misunderstood word becomes a blank in the mind of the reader. Well, for every generation that you interview us as a people. If you ask any generation, whether it is the 70s, 30s, 40s, or the early 1900s, what do you need? What do we need as a people? We need unity. If we just could come together, if we would unite. Well, question, if John 1:1 in the Bible says in the beginning was the Word, and the Word was God, and the Word was with God, and the Word became flesh and dwelt among men, what that's saying is that there's a natural maturation of a word. Words don't just stay words.
Right.
Words become actions. Actions become habits. Habits become character. And character becomes the destiny or the future connected to that original word spoken. Well, how is it that we've been saying unity all these years, but we have not yet been able to bring into existence? And I submit to you, Sister Felicia, and those in the listening audience that we have a misunderstood word. We've been saying unity, but in our minds we're thinking uniformity.
Yes.
And uniformity and unity are not the same thing. Uniformity means everybody does the same thing in the same way, at the same place, at the same time, look the same doing it. That is a mathematical, biological impossibility. There's not even one human being that has a voice like another, a fingerprint like another, or a pupil like another. Every single human being, there's not even a blade of grass that has a twin.
That's right.
Everything in creation is unique. So uniformity is a biological impossibility. Unity, though, unity is what we should be working for. See, everybody's not going to be Church of God in Christ. Everybody's not going to be apostolic. Everybody's not going to be Hezbollah. Everybody's not going to be Shiite. Everybody's not going to be Sunni. Everybody's not going to be Hebrew Israelite.
Right.
Everybody's not going to be Baptist or Methodist or Episcopalian. So get that concept out of our mind. Unity is not uniformity.
Beautiful.
Unity is when we do different things at a different place, at a different time, but for one common cause. Brother Shaheed can bear witness to me in our book Quran. It says that Allah created us in the best of forms.
That's right.
Well, if he created us in the best of forms, then we can study the human body. And we find that when you open up the human body and look at this form, you have kidneys, you have lungs, you have brain, you have spleen, you have heart. All of these organs do different things at different places at a different time, but they do it for the survival of this one organism. What would happen if our organizations thought like that? Y'all didn't catch that. If our organizations
Yes,
thought like, see, what would happen if NAACP became kidneys and Urban League was the lung, and this church and this group was the heart, and this is the brain, and this is the spleen? See, if everybody does what they do where they are, but for the one common cause of the survival of us as a people, we would not still be talking unity and not have it. That word, which is God, has the force and power of God. That word would have become flesh by now, and it would dwell among men, meaning it'll be real, and we wouldn't have to talk it no more. We'd be able to experience it in everyday life.
You got her in the smiling, blushing, and skinning and grinning.
He delivering.
She's smiling like a Negro doing in front of a baseball stadium full of white folks.
He delivering.
You done lit up. So, Brother Minister, we only got about 5 or 6 more minutes, but if I can get just 1 minute on why we should not take that those shots, those vaccination shots. If I can get a minute and a half on that, then I want to just flip on to nothing but tomorrow. I want to do a full court press on tomorrow. You know, they're going to be your guests. I would be honored if you would shake their hand when they come down.
I would love that. I would love that.
You know,
well, of course, you know, the most honorable Elijah Muhammad taught us that out of all of our studies, history is best qualified to reward the researcher.
Yes, sir.
And anytime you go to purchase a car, purchase a home, buy furniture, if you go to even get checked up for any issue or problem you have at a clinic, the first thing they want to know is your medical history, or in the case of a home, car, or furniture, they want to know what your credit history is. History. Why do they look at it at the hospital? Why do they look at it at the car lot, at the bank? Why do they look at it whenever you're trying to even buy furniture? It's because past actions are the best predictor of future behavior. Well, if we study the history of medical practice, we would have to bear witness that black people in America have been victims of a medical apartheid ever since we've been here.
Yes, sir.
Go and read Bad Blood. If you don't have time to read or don't want to read, at least watch the movie Miss Evers' Boys. Go and check out the history of the smallpox put in the blankets by the Indians
Yes, sir.
as a cure for what they were experiencing. Go and research
Syphilis.
the Tuskegee experiment. Go and check out the polio
Yes, sir.
vaccine and the SV40 that they were giving us that produced cancer 25 or 30 years later.
Yes, sir.
Notice that at one time, cancer was 45 years ago nicknamed the white man's disease.
Yes, sir.
Now, black men are the leaders in colon cancer, prostate cancer, and
Yes.
black women are the leaders in ovarian
Yes.
cancer and sneaking up as number one in breast cancer. How did it happen? What happened? So we have to be very wise and know that there are solutions that are found in nature, and there are solutions that other nations have employed with vitamin D, as they found that everybody that came to the hospital with COVID, after they tested their vitamin D level, 85% of those with COVID that were hospitalized were vitamin D deficient. Mm-hmm. Get out in the sun and get you vitamin D. Mm-hmm. Get you a vitamin D supplement. Take your vitamin C, take your quercetin, take your zinc. And if we eat right, think right, do right, and add a few little modifications in supplements because of the critical time we're in, we won't need to have a shot that is installing an operating system into the human body that one day they'll be able to push a button and make you feel and think what they want you to make you feel and think. No, don't trust the same people.
Make it plain.
That have that track record.
Yes, sir.
So that is what you should do, and it's not just the COVID vaccine. Watch out for all of them.
So
you don't need none of them.
So, Brother Mills, I want to jump in because I want to now talk about what we're doing, and I really want to tease them with that because you could give them more than that, but we only got a couple more minutes left. I want you to make sure those books, because just about any subject they're talking about in the books that you have, Sister Secretary, can you just name a few of the books that he has there in front of you?
What is this?
Can you see it?
Minister Brother, if you can just go ahead and name your books because it's kind of fuzzy on my end.
Well, we will be bringing them by the grace of God.
Inshallah.
We will be bringing 6 books. My
That's
latest book is titled A Well-Made Man. We just released it about 6 weeks ago, and it became the #1 new release on book on Amazon.
Oh, ain't no
so
secret.
We have A Well-Made Man, The Black Woman, God's Second Self, Before You Say I Do, After You Say I Do, Let This Mind Be in You, 7 and the 7 Jewels of God. Those 6 books we will have with us, and we will do a book signing after the presentation tomorrow. Come see us. Come join us. Free. It's free.
That's 10
a.m.
That's 10 o'clock.
Doors open at 9:30.
Brother,
and we'll be at Mosque 28, 5967 West Florissant Ave. Don't meet me there. Beat me there.
Yeah, and Brother Shahid's going to be there with you, inviting you there. Plus, I'm going to be inviting all the brothers and sisters that listens to me and surround me. This is a brother that you don't want to miss. This is a brother, if you hear him one time, what we did just teased you. We gave you just a little bit. We gave you a sample. But tomorrow, you're going to get a chance to hear from the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. Well, I ain't going to say the #1 student, but I would say it, but I ain't trying to get off into all that. He hot. He hot in cayenne pepper. All the brothers around Minister Tony, all of them are hot. But Minister Nuri is hot in cayenne pepper tomorrow at 5967 West Florissant. We say sometimes Mike Florissant because they killed him on that street, so we call it Mike Florissant. But on West Florissant, right by Riverview. So make sure you meet us there. We're down to our last 20 seconds, so we're going to close
Yes.
that. Thank you very much this morning, Brother Minister, but we will definitely be there with you tomorrow. We thank you for coming on the show, and we appreciate it. And thank you, Sister Secretary Felicia, for setting everything up, because she set everything up.
Yes.
Yeah, so guys, you're
That's
invited out
right.
tomorrow.
Thank you, and I look forward to seeing you all tomorrow.
Allahu Akbar.
That's right. And regardless to what your beliefs is, come on out from colony to community. You're listening to the Freeman Bosley Jr. Show. Keep it on lock.
Quit playing. Allahu Akbar.
All right. Thank you. Good morning, and welcome back. Welcome back. We've had a really hot show. Is that right, Brother Shaheed?
It's hot in cayenne pepper. My mouth is just, it's hot. It's hot up in here.
It's hot up in here, and
mean,
it's
but-
about to get even hotter.
Just think
Go
about
ahead and
what-
get your pen and your paper out, your pencil. Go ahead and tag 10 friends and bring them in because we got Miss Shirley Miles in the studio this morning.
Who?
Did I get it right, Miss Shirley Miles?
That is correct, Shirley Miles.
Okay. Okay. And Miss Shirley Miles is the president of SM Marketing Communications, a business marketing professional development company. And now she spends her time training and teaching others. But she can tell you better than I can tell you about her company.
Well, let me ask her a question before she
Good
gets started.
morning.
What started
Good
you this
morning.
morning? I'm sorry, too. Good morning.
Good morning.
So let me ask you a question. What took you in this direction? You can tell us about anything you want to talk about, but what got you into marketing? This is a heavy field. And marketing, I learned a little about marketing through a book called Subliminal Seduction and media sex exploitation and body language. And whenever they're doing World Series or football games, they want to see who got the best advertisement and marketing to see who's going to wind up, being in that competition where they can be talking about them all year long. Tell me how you got this. What made you go in this direction? And you can say whatever else you want to say.
Okay. I've always been in communications my entire life. And after 9/11, I went back to school to focus on advertising and marketing communications. Then my master's in media communications. And I've worked at St. Louis Community College. I worked at Annie Malone and eventually was recruited to work for the Missouri Department of Transportation. And in my position, as you know, as the community liaison, I had a lot of skill sets. I did work with 501c3s, and I do have that relationship with community engagement. So the two combined together made me a perfect candidate, where I was able to do a lot of things that other individuals could not do. I retired last year. October 1st was my official retirement. I got my first pension at the end of the month. I couldn't believe that. Yeah, and so I had started my company January 2017. But some decisions were made to pull back, and I was focused on working on a documentary for a project I shall not mention. But I focused the whole year on that project, and unfortunately, that project was deferred. And, that's a nice way of saying it. And so I began my mass exodus from MoDOT. And my first qualifying day was October 1st. And I did not play, I left. Yeah, and so I went full throttle with my company, and I had a lot of people reach out to me, and they said something that was unique. They said, Sherlyn, because you've sat in these classes with these certified companies, and as a community liaison, I was a part of the Missouri Regional Certification Committee. That meant that I worked in collaboration with the City of St. Louis Lambert Airport, bi-state, and the other PPLs like the East-West Gateway Council of Government. I also assisted in the facilitation for business development training for certified minority women and DBEs. And it was an easy transition for me when people started saying, hey, Sherlyn, I want to go after this bid. Are you certified? I'm like, no, I haven't considered being certified because I didn't think about going that direction. My focus is on non-for-profits, faith-based. Mm-hmm. But there began this growing request. And I said, okay, I'm gonna go on and do it. And I have clients right now. One client went after, she's an architect who went after a project in New Orleans. I also have a client who just got her license to open a senior living center on Grant. Now, what makes this unique is that this individual was referred to me by Alan Green, and she wants to take the old grocery store on Grand and rehab it. And because there's no senior or skilled nursing facilities within 15 miles, it qualified for certain advantages. And I put her business plan together. We went downtown to sit in a room full of Republicans and get a unanimous approval for the license. What made that so unique was there was only two, it was like maybe 6 or 7 agencies that were trying to get approval for a license. The only two that got unanimous votes were us and BJC. And the company,
Big volumes there.
yeah, and the company is the Eagles Nest Retirement Center. And so she's focusing on doing all of that. She's working with our elected officials to make that happen. I'm excited about that because that makes Grand more viable and it gives that opportunity for growth. So even though I do social media, even though I do PSAs and marketing and all those things on a creative side, including web content, it seems as though God keeps directing me towards this area. So a decision that I made was anybody that is a small or a faith-based or women minority-owned company, I had been providing them a free consultation. And from there, I would give them a brief feedback, and then they would make that decision as to whether or not they want to do business with me. Mm-hmm. And it's been working out pretty good. And to me, when you have those type of skill sets, it's important as a native who've been here all my life. You know, I never left St. Louis. Okay. I've been here my entire life. And I went to college here, talked my daughter into coming back here. By the way, my daughter is now a professor at WashU.
Congratulations.
Hi, Carmen.
That don't surprise
Carmen Staten, Professor Carmen Staten.
Congratulations.
Yes, and so I feel like we have a responsibility to give back to the community. And so often, some of our people will go, west of 270, and then when they come into the hood, they lock their doors or move so far out they forget that they are Black and that they are standing on the shoulders of others. That's right. Then we have those individuals who leave because I know people, especially in the 80s, I was a class of 83 from high school, I know people who said, I can't go back because I'm not going to be successful because of racism. My cousin had an MBA, and he was an elevator operator. He goes to California, and mind you, this was 1981 or something along those lines. Goes to California, gets a job, making $75,000 a year. He went from being an elevator operator with an MBA. Mind you, we talking about 80 and 81 MBA. Mm-hmm. And that spoke volumes to what people were talking about. A lot of people moved to Atlanta. But if we all leave, we need to be there to say, hey, my sister, hey, my brother, there's a better way to do this. Mm-hmm. And so then I have another side that I don't charge for, which is soft skills training. I've worked with Yafet El Amin and other organizations. Yes, and I'm an Urban League Guild. And so if someone reaches out to me and say, hey, Shirley, I want you to talk to these young people, I would definitely talk to them. And I don't talk at them. I tell them my story. I'll tell them my struggles, and when I close their mouths, then they say, oh my God, but look at you now. Exactly. What you go through does not define your future. It's what you do with it.
Right. How long were you with MoDOT?
And people keep saying, how did you get, so I started January 1st, 2008. And everybody keeps going, how are you able to retire so quickly? Yeah. I did what you call 80 and out, and I'm not going to tell my age, but I could have retired a lot faster if they had allowed my employment to transfer from the community college. They stopped doing it in 1999. They do it for the state colleges. But yeah, so I 80 and out. If you do the math, you might figure something out about how old I am.
Oh, wait.
But yeah. I retired 2 years earlier because of my feelings about the contribution I made towards certain projects. So a lot of people are like, I can't believe you left 2 years earlier. You lost a large chunk. I'm like, well, no, I'm okay with that because I am getting a pension. My husband's very stable in his income. We don't have a lot of bills, and I'm very comfortable with what I'm doing.
Beautiful. And you're happy.
Beautiful.
Yes, girl, yes.
Yeah.
That's it.
Because sometimes that stress, I heard people
I
talking
seen
about
the happiness when you walked in the room.
Thank you.
I saw the glow. When you speak, I see that. I feel that. And so if you have to walk away from a W-2 job to find your peace and your happiness and walk in your purpose, we're glad you're here.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to become a client.
Oh, well, thank you very much.
Yes.
Thank you. And the one thing I tell people, my drive is spiritual. When I lay my head on the bed, I assess my day and say, what have I done to the least of these? Every morning I wake up and I ask God to direct my path and order my steps, because the minute that you get in self, that's when you stumble. But when you in God, he directs you. Mm-hmm. And here's the big one. When God said, you are not going to charge a consultation fee, I said, yes, sir. Mm-hmm. And so sometimes you have to think about, well, will you make money? Well, I've had people reach out to me. Freeman Bosley reached out to me. The Americans reach out to me. And I've had some other interviews that say, Sherlyn, what you're doing is fantastic. And I say, oh, see, that's what God's plan was. We always looking at monetary and we don't think about the big picture. Now, I do want to talk about something that you mentioned about the Super Bowl. Yes, there is a science to advertising. There's a reason people pass the good restaurants to go to the McDonald's. Yes. There's a nostalgia. There is a mnemonic method. The mnemonic method was 2 LB petty special sauce, lettuce, cheese, pickles, onion, sesame seed bun, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, plop, plop, fizz, fizz. So that was a method that was used back in the 70s and some parts of the 80s because it triggered subconscious response. Correct. Now, what McDonald's done is develop a nostalgia and a family environment, being the first to bring in the value meal, which, by the way, was a response to the economic downturn, and having be the first to have playgrounds for them to play with and bring into the kids' meal. And as you see, everyone has followed that lead. And so even with the modernization of Santa Claus in the red and white, that was created in the early I want to say 1912, 1914 by Coca-Cola because they were trying to sell sodas in the winter. So they put this suit on Santa and had him everywhere with the rosy cheeks and all of that. And that's what happened. To this day, people think that that's something that's real, that's religious based. It's not. Now, here's the shocker for you. Colors. Boys used to wear the whites and girls used to wear the blacks. And because of the ratio between male and females, the retail industry decided that they were losing a lot of money. So they started pushing for the pastel colors for the girls because it's less money. I mean, I'm sure today that wouldn't probably apply, but back then you got to think about the dyeing process and how much ink went into it. And so they pushed that pink is for girls and blue is for boys and the dark colors for boys. So a lot of the things that we see, we've been programmed. Back in the day when you would be watching a show, all of a sudden, all these fast food restaurants would come on. The first picture you see is the food and the smoke coming up from the food. Yes. And then what they would do is total recall where you actually begin to sense the smell of the chicken wings.
When that goes, what I was talking about, there's a guy named Brian Keyes, and I'm not sure if that book is still out, but Brian Keyes, I read that book over 40 years ago on subliminal seduction and subliminal techniques, and how they bypass your conscious mind and go into your physical mind, your eye, not your physical eye, but your mind's eye, and catch you and trap you. I also know about colors because I worked at Disneyland. And in Disneyland, whatever they was doing, they used certain colors to catch you in the music. So when you walk into the store, you might not even be thinking about buying something, but once you hear that music and those colors start dancing and all that there, next thing you know, you don't want to. That's why you're supposed to have a shopping list when you go in the store. Yeah. You shouldn't be just going to tell them that you don't know what you want. Mm-hmm. And you come out there with $500 or $600. I'm a girl, I wasn't going to even spend this money. Well, that's because she went in there not thinking. Mm-hmm. And somebody thought for you. But beautiful, beautiful.
Well, yeah, even colors. There's a reason for colors.
Yes.
When you, with technology, it's your teals, your blues. Yes. When it comes down to organic, earthy, it's your browns, your yellows. But for a long time, psychiatric hospitals use what they call mute colors to prevent sensation or stimulation for psychiatric patients. But they found they were doing them a disservice because certain colors, pastel colors, bring out a sense of spring, a sense of renew. And, people don't realize, a lot of people don't realize, the color black is infused every color, period. The color white has no color. So when there's an intent, so when there's an intent to whitewash, when you see some homes with the white walls, the white furniture, that is intentional to say, I am eliminating any creativity. I'm eliminating the ideal of individuality. I'm conforming, and the same thing about Americanism, conformity. But there is a reason for these colors, and when people understand that red is power and royal blue and purple is royalty, they don't understand. Scientists have done research. They know what colors to use. They know what colors to use. Absolutely.
Yeah.
So let's switch up a little bit because I love your business card.
Thank you.
And I know that font is important. I know along with color and font, there are so many other things that go into marketing.
Yes.
So let's talk a little bit about some of the services you offer and just share more information. Thank you.
Okay. Oh, well, I created my own logo. So to start, I believe
love
in
this logo.
Thank
It's
you.
beautiful. It's nice.
I believe
logo.
in marketing research. I believe it wholeheartedly. So I had this name of my company that I wanted, and I'm like, well, let me get a feedback. Let me throw some names out there. And everyone picked the one that I didn't want. And I said to myself, well, they're the potential client, so marketing research and the data shows I should take SM Marketing Communications. So I did. Then I looked at these multiple designs that I created, and I posted them on social media, and I asked them to vote, and that's the logo that they voted on.
Okay.
And so everything I do, I try to be scientific about. You're right, when it comes to fonts, you got your serifs and your sans serifs. A lot of people don't realize you do not use cursive fonts. Only at for diplomas and weddings. Other than that, never. You do not exceed 3 fonts. And when it comes to colors, you have to make sure you understand the tricolor or the color theory, where you have 3 colors or quad colors that match. And people are like, what's that? Google color wheel. And that's how designers are able to put things together. You know, when you see something, and you just mentioned about programming. So if I'm going in there, it's the spring, and I don't know nothing about fashion, and I'm walking around, and I'm in the mall, which is going basically dead, but would walk in the mall, I would begin to be programmed by noticing the particular colors.
Yes.
And particular dresses.
Yes.
And by the time I'm ready to spend money, I've chosen from what the creators, what the designers have decided will be the new spring line.
That's right.
You know, and there's a lot to it. And when people understand that, you know, you need to be a conscious shopper or a conscious viewer. You know, I post, so I'm very strategic about not getting too opinionated on social media because I had a public position. But I do share articles, and I share values, and on my company side, I share marketing information and how to utilize those particular services. So when you're talking about, regardless of what you're doing, if you say, and I'm going to be marketing to a particular demographic, you look at your budgets. Am I going to use Facebook? Am I going to use YouTube? And then the best thing I love about YouTube, I love Facebook, but YouTube has sales reps that can get directly to the client. So when I created the Natural Bridge is Not a Racetrack PSA, I made certain that it was that it was 15 seconds, because on YouTube you are a prisoner to the ad for 15 seconds. And I decided that I was going to market towards sports cars enthusiasts, people that like racetrack driving, you know, sport. And so when they go and they started, you know, Googling like, you know, Trans Am or whatever, my ad would come up, and they had to see the whole ad for 15 seconds. Wow. And you can buy that. And so whenever you're marketing, you got to know who your market is, what's your budget, and how you're going to reach that market. And, you know, back in the day, they used to say there's 3 points of contact. Back in the day would be, let's say, if you're doing community, because you do a lot in the community, it would be email, letter, phone call. Well, now you need 7 points, because people no longer retain at 3. And by the way, when you would see things, you notice they would always say it in 3. Pop, pop, fizz, fizz was 3 times. That whole ideal went out the window with social media. And you have to be able to catch their attention. And the only way you catch their attention is that you study their behavior. So whenever you're doing something, you have a company, you don't just say, hey, I want to use these colors. You know, I want this, I want that. And then you're like, no, it doesn't work that way. In order to succeed, you have to use a scientific approach.
That's right.
Once you use a scientific approach, you're done. And so that's why I read a lot, like you say, reading, because the art of persuasion is very real. Even with music, someone had posted rap music back in the day, and and then rap music now. And so they had, you know, Kumo D and all of them, and you know, speaking real word, you know, it's true spoken word. Yeah. And then they showed the others who looked like clowns. Yeah. And they were like, people, what happened? Well, you were programmed.
That's right.
Mm-hmm. There's a reason for that.
Oh, ain't no secret. Because they saying those brothers had the attracting power to start to having people what they watching and everything. Go ahead. Let's make sure. I want to make sure we give our information out.
Yes.
I don't think we're
Absolutely.
giving out good enough. I want you to take your time. We got about a couple of minutes
Okay.
left, but I want you to take a minute and go over everything that you think because what I just heard, I'm ready to get with you.
Yes.
And I'm quite sure a whole lot of other people. So would you just take your
That
time
30
to give your
second elevator pitch.
Absolutely. Okay, so as in marketing communications, my phone number, and I'm going to, because of this interaction, I'm going to give them my cell number and not just my office number. But my cell number is 314-749-5032. That's 314-749-5032. And you can reach out to me on Google, LinkedIn, Facebook. It's SM Marketing Communications. And my name is Sherlyn Miles, SHIRLYN.
All right. Thank
I
you.
want to get that number out one more time. She
Yes,
went
sir.
too fast to me. That office number is 314-339, because I want people writing it down.
Yes.
So I want to go slow one more time. 314-339-7662. Again, 314-339-7662. And that cell number. Don't be blowing her cell number up talking about give me no hookup. 314, if you get her, you done got the hookup. 314-749-5032. 314-749-5032.
Excellent. And guys, SM Marketing Communication offer marketing communication, social media marketing, media and production, web content management, community relations, and so much more. Go to the website. Please give that website for us because I'm here now. It's SM Marketing
Com.
Com, COMM. Okay, is it .com? Mm-hmm. Okay, .com. So smmarketingcom.com. Go ahead and head over to that website. Check it out. You can submit your inquiry. We thank you for joining us this morning.
Thank you for
coming in this
having
morning,
me.
sister.
All
Look, We
right.
got to go to a break.
Yes, sir. We're listening to the Freeman Bosley Jr. Show on KATZ 1600.
Well, keep it on lock.
Keep it
Quit
on lock.
playing.
Quit playing. Welcome back, St. Louis. Welcome back. Welcome back. You're listening to the Freeman Bosley Jr. Show. Good morning. Good morning. It's been a great show.
It's been a hot
It's
show.
been
but
a great show.
But you're going to take over, so I'm just going to sit back.
Oh, well, I hope you all took notes and was able to tag 10 friends and bring them in. This morning, I just wanted to kind of go over a few things that is happening this morning. So this morning, there is a God-willing vessel presents He Will Leave the 99 for You. It's a free youth and young adult event. It's located at January Wabash Park. At 501 North Florissant in Ferguson, Missouri. I'll say that again. God's willing vessel presents He Will Leave the 99 for You, a free youth and young adult event located at January Wabash Park, 501 North Florissant in Ferguson, Missouri. They're going to have gospel rap and hip hop and fun games. It starts today at 2 p.m. until 7 p.m. Again, it is a free event. They should have light snacks and hors d'oeuvres and that kind of thing. So go ahead and take the children out. It'll be something great for them to do. Right after this show, starting at 11 a.m., the first annual Health and Wellness Dance Expo. A health and wellness dance expo. We've attended a lot of expos, but a health and wellness dance expo is going to be something really new. Okay. And so I'm looking forward to that. It's featuring Chas Joy, fitness party instructor. It starts today at 11 a.m. until 1 p.m. They will have, you can come shop, network. There's mixed fit, Zumba, and line dancing. A lot of time to do fitness, fun, and networking. So you can purchase a ticket in person or online. It's happening in an hour. I would say just show up.
Yeah, just show up because if we're talking about trying to get some online, they might as well drive on up. We're talking about an hour from now. We're going to close out now at 10, and we're talking about 11 o'clock. Go on over there now. That's what you're saying.
Yes, and that's that location. It says moved by BJC, 4220 Duncan Avenue, Unit 103. Again, 4220 Duncan Avenue, Unit 103, St. Louis, Missouri, 63110. Parking will be in the garage. Last thing that I'd like to share before Brother Shaheed jump in is Dance the Vote. It says, time to see what your neighbors are doing to help us all and what you are doing about it. Dance the Vote will have live performances, the wobble, food trucks, voter registration for November 22 general elections. Voters must be registered by Wednesday, October the 12th. That's key and important. If you plan on voting in the November 2022 general election, you need to be registered to vote by October the 12th. You know, Brother Shaheed drilled down on that 6% turnout on the last election, that special election. So let's get registered. Dance the Vote, Saturday, today, September the 24th, from 12:30 p.m. to 3 o'clock in the afternoon at the Missouri History Museum. It's on Lindo. I won't give that full address. Again, 12:30 to 3 p.m. at the Missouri History Museum on today. Next week, you can go to North Central Plan People's Assembly, Saturday, October the 1st, from 1 to 5 p.m., Deaconess Center, and that's right there on 1000 North Vanderventer. And so residents living in parts of North St. Louis must attend North Central Plan. What is it? East Downtown can have, because I don't know what they're saying. We'll come back. But October the 1st, 1 o'clock to 5 p.m. That's a typo there. I apologize for that.
Well, since it's the first, which is next Saturday, by next Saturday we'll have everything there where they can make sure they have the correct information. So.
And then I want to say last, the 20th annual Mary Meacham Freedom Crossing Celebration will take place also Saturday, October the 1st, from noon until 5 p.m. Again, 20th annual Mary Meacham Freedom Crossing Celebration, Saturday, October the 1, from noon to 5 p.m. Underground Railroad site, St. Louis, Mississippi Riverfront. You want to mention this?
No, you got to mention this, Secretary.
Okay. The Ville and the Greaterville Problem Properties Town Hall, Saturday, September the 24th. It begins at 11 a.m. This is put on by our very own Missouri State Representative, Kimberly Ann Collins. Problem Properties Unit attorney, manager, Woods. And so they're going to talk about St. Louis City Building Division Commission and Team, St. Louis Police Department Problem Properties Unit, St. Louis City Consular's Office, St. Louis City Neighborhood Stabilization Team, and Team St. Louis Development Corporation. So we're going to talk about those problem properties in the Ville and the Greater Ville at that town hall on this morning at 11 a.m.
Okay, so we got 3 or 4 things you can be doing today. You decide which one you want to go to, but the bottom line is you should be going to some of them because each of them are important. So we'll let you decide how you want to do it.
And let me just say this real quick. I'm sorry, we didn't give them the address. St. Philip's Evangelical Lutheran Church, 2 Annie Malone Drive. Again, Annie Malone Drive, 63113. All right, take it from here.
Okay, I just want to do a recap on BASIC, which is Black Alcohol Drug Service Information Center, which is very powerful. All of us have somebody out there. Nobody in America, black or white or whatever color you are, don't have somebody on alcohol or drugs or some type of form of chemical substance. Nobody's better than this group here, and this is not me just saying it. I've been around them for the last 35 years. When they first came in, Sister Bertha Gilkey went to meet them, and I'm telling you, they've been true to what they say, and I've seen brothers and sisters that were, sleeping on the ground. I'm talking about all the way out there, come to BASIC and change their life, and then come back and also be somebody that come and give time and start saying what it did for them. Because I think the best testimony is the one you can see and not the one you hear about. You know, so again, that telephone number there is 314-621-9009. That's BASIC. Anybody listen and know about BASIC, they know we talking real. 314-621-9009. And that address, I don't see that address. I know he said 3500. Wow. You see one with the address that it's 3500 on look at the other brochure over there. 3500 on Grand. But I need the exact address. It's
3654 South Grand Boulevard.
Say it again.
3654 South Grand Boulevard.
36.
St. Louis, Missouri, of course, 63118.
It's right by
Basic World
Arsenal.
Headquarters.
It's right between Arsenal and Winnebago. But you're going to see it's a big old huge building, but I'm really proud of them. Wanted to make sure that I hit again Brother Minister Nuri tomorrow at Muhammad's Mosque, number 28, 5967 West Florissant. He's going to be the special guest for Minister Donald Muhammad and Captain Allen and the whole entire labor staff. But this brother is hot in cayenne pepper. Anytime you represent the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, you got to be on your P's and Q's. And this brother here is one of the sharpest. All of them are sharp. Don't get me wrong, but this brother is sharp. He's extremely sharp. So again, that's 10 o'clock tomorrow, 5967 West Florissant. 10 o'clock, the doors will open. You get there a little bit earlier, and let's come on out and hear Minister Nuri Muhammad. And I want you to plug the village. I want you to push this for Sister Secretary.
Okay, we have the
And I got the book here too.
Village.
I'm going to set this up here, Secretary, when you talking.
The Village, which is the boys' mentoring organization that we had on the show just a couple of weeks ago. If you have a young son, I believe age 6 to 18, you want to get them involved in
Yes.
an organization
Yes.
that will spirit them
Yes.
in the right direction.
Yes.
Reach out to Brother Keenan Morrison, the founder and the CEO. You can go to the Village 314.com. So www.thevillage314.com, or go to their Facebook page. And if you want to make a donation to an organization that is doing phenomenal things with our
Do it at the
youth,
Village.
make sure you go to the Village.
Get that announcement for me,
SM
please.
Marketing, you just opened your business and you don't know the direction to go. You want to be able to set yourself apart from all other organizations or businesses, right? Reach out to SM Marketing
Very
Communication.
powerful sister.
Sister Sherilyn Miles, the president and CEO.
Yeah,
Share
very
the
powerful.
information with others. Don't keep it a secret. Go to that website and you will see all the services that she offers.
We had a hot show today.
And I want to say congratulations to myself. I received a contract with MoDOT. I am excited. I will be teaching CPR, AED, and first aid. I'll tell you guys more about it.
Okay, well, congratulations. But I think right now we can't do no more congratulations. It's time to go.
Yes.
Not to no break. It's time to close down.
Yes.
So
you're listening to the Freeman Bosley Jr. Show on KTZ
And?
1600. Keep it online.
Quit playing.